So we'll be going through some of our best known kept secrets. And as always, we are live, so we encourage you to ask questions. We'll get to as many as we possibly can, and then follow up with any of those questions once we are no longer live, as we continue to get viewers. So today, kind of like I said, we wanted to talk about that, the tips for new drivers. We get those questions quite often, drivers that are just getting started out and they're not quite sure what it's all about. So, right now we have some really great opportunities. Jenny, and I was going to just kind of hand it over to you to kind of talk about some of those company-sponsored programs that we have available right now.
Yeah, we have some great opportunities for new drivers, and part of it, like you said, is going to be the company paid programs. We have two available right now. One is going to be the company sponsored training, and that is where we actually send you to one of our partner schools across the nation, and we actually pay for your tuition so that you guys don't have to stress about having to figure out getting approved for loans or anything like that. Schneider covers that. We do have a financial agreement with that one. We do ask that you stay a year with Schneider after you complete that programming, and we can talk about the details of that agreement once you call in and chat with us. But we do have another program available, which is the CDL apprenticeship, and that is where we actually send you to one of our training facilities, and we do the full training in 5 weeks, and then we get you on the road right after that. Again, we can talk about the details of the program once you call in and chat a little bit more.
Right. Or you can go to our website, schneiderjobs.com, and look at those opportunities under company drivers. Putting in your zip code, you'll be able to tell what opportunities are available directly in your area. And as always, you can call in with questions to 1-800-44-PRIDE, and we'd be happy to assist you with any questions you have before getting that application submitted. Also, we did talk about those company sponsored programs. You did mention that we do ask for the agreement for the when we send you to a partner school.
Yeah.
But one of the things I want to mention about that is it is a financial agreement only. There is no commitment to Schneider. You are not locked in. There's no employment contract of any nature with that. Basically, if you stay with us, it's a free program for you for that time frame. And then also, as always, we have tuition reimbursement available. So we do offer tuition reimbursement. Schneider will pay up to $7,000 in the cost of tuition at a rate of $200 a month for solo drivers. We are currently offering a $400 a month payment for team drivers. So great opportunity for those of you who already may have a loan out there and are looking to get started in a company that will help you along. And there's no cost to you for those. There's no commitment. There's nothing to sign. You send us a couple of quick documents to let us know how much you were charged and how you paid for it. And we submit that in. And as long as you stay employed with us, we'll continue to make those payments under the agreement parameters. So it says here, Justin says, can you tell me the name of the school that you all use in North Carolina?
Okay. For the CDL apprenticeship program in North Carolina, we would send you out to Charlotte to Schneider's training facility. However, for the company sponsored program, we do work with a lot of schools. So we would recommend to give us a call or text 2800, and we can talk to you a little bit further about the steps on getting you processed for that. But I do believe we do have some schools within that state.
We do. And I know that we have a great team of programs coordinators that head up that program. They're there to assist you with everything that we don't. So we've really made it as seamless as possible for new drivers. And once again, just want to remind everybody, Justin, thank you for that question. And just let you know that we are live and happy to take your questions and try to answer those as best that we can, or direct you in the proper direction to get those answers if we don't have them for you. I think kind of we hit a lot on that company paid programs that we have. I think we've covered that. What about orientation? We get a lot of people who come to us and they're like, well, how long is your orientation? What can I expect? Those kind of things. So just wanted to, kind of maybe give them a general overview of orientation, if you could, Jenny, and just kind of what what that kind of details, because I think every company has their own
Have their own
processes.
Well, and another great question that a lot of drivers, especially inexperienced drivers, have is, am I going to have some time on the road with a trainer? Because there is other companies where they don't have some of that training. So part of our training will have you go out with a training engineer to go out on the road at least 5 days or so if you have no experience. But they do depend on the line of business that you decide to go with. So our training is a minimum of 3 weeks. The first week is usually more classroom based. We call it Schneiderizing. I learned that term from Courtney. And just really getting comfortable with Schneider, our policies. Second week, you're going to be in the yard, so getting comfortable with our equipment, doing some maneuvering training. And then finally, like I said, third week is going to be out on the road. Again, depending on the line of business, it could be a little bit longer than 1 week out on the road. But that's really just going to get you in the flow of what to expect when you're driving on your own or with a team partner. We do like to point out, though, that when you're on the road with a training engineer, you're actually on the same schedule. So it's not some sort of team environment. When you're driving, they're on the passenger seat, and when you're resting, they're resting. So we do like to point that out. I know we made a note of saying we do have individual hotel rooms for our candidates or driver trainers. We do cover your transportation if you have to travel a certain radius, and then we do cover for your hotel and some of the meals that you're out in the training.
And in today's environment, I think it's so important for people to know that we are not expecting them to share a room, with another driver. We are trying to maintain, as much of that safety as we possibly can in the environment that we work in. And I think, that's really a great opportunity. And you had said, like you said too, there's a lot of, difference between experienced and inexperienced training. Our experienced drivers can come in and be done in about 4 days or so. And based on line of business.
Exactly.
Taker, for instance, is a longer training, but it is, safety culture is our number one core value, is safety first and always. So if you get into a line of business that deals with chemicals or anything like that, we are going to give you extended training. So for a new driver, since we are talking about new truck drivers, you're going to expect to be about 5 weeks in that training. But again, with the newness of everything, giving you that confidence to be out there and knowing that we're going to give you all the tools that you need. I think, really, like we talk about, you'll spend that 5 to 7 days with a trainer. We have a new mentor program where you'll have a mentor that you're paired up with for, for
even longer.
Yes. And that way you've got someone to be there beside you, coach you, be available for you when maybe your driver team leader or I think that's really nice. Our dedicated space, like some of our dedicated accounts that maybe have some specialized, docking procedures or unloading. For those of you who like to stay active and physical, those are some great opportunities to earn some really good money, especially for a first-year driver. And and with those, they have the specialized training for getting paired with a mentor. And then a different pay rate for that time and things like that. So all very good
thing
things.
you mentioned that paid orientation. It is paid. So definitely, again, based on the location that you're traveling to and the line of business that you're going to, but it is paid training.
Okay, good. All right. And then also just kind of talking a little bit about the mentor program. We do have videos available for you to view about the mentor program so you can get a little better idea. We've talked to some, we've had some videos with doing some one-on-ones with some of our training engineers. We have drivers that have videos out there about their experiences. So definitely check out our video gallery and get a good idea of what that looks like, because it is a great program for new drivers to kind of get that relationship built up, kind of things. So I think, like I said, we really wanted to cover a lot of that, of the expectations of training. And I think one of the things that I like about Schneider's training, you mentioned it, was that that fact that you don't, you're not have a trainer who's sleeping while you're driving.
Yeah.
He's actually there to mentor and coach you and
Yeah.
help you. So take some of that stress off. So Crypto says that he is 62. Is he too young? Yeah, you are definitely too young. But you are the perfect age to start a brand new
Yeah.
great career with Schneider. We would love to have you. Like I said, like Jenny said, schneiderjobs.com,
Yeah.
look that up. We have drivers of all ages, we have people with their second careers starting
Yeah.
this industry. They, from all over,
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to so many people with such interesting and varieties
yeah.
of backgrounds, married couples or,
Yeah.
really people that are, looking for something to do where they can be together and, and that kind of thing.
And travel and
And
really get to travel the country, get to see all this beautiful scenery that
Mhm.
we have. So yeah,
Right.
definitely 62, perfect age. Come join us.
Exactly. And let's see, one of the things that, we always don't be afraid to ask us if you have questions, things like that. We're always here to help you. I've had, and I'm sure you probably have had drivers who've been with us for a few months that may call you and say, hey, I wasn't sure who to reach out to for this.
Yeah.
I'm always more than happy, and I know that we all are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a family at Schneider, and we are here to help you. We are not just handing you over.
Yeah.
We're always available to answer questions. Even if we don't have the answer, we'll strive to get you to the right person for that as well.
Yeah.
We have recruiters, training engineers.
Your team leaders. You can reach out to other truck drivers. I know I've seen that before where they say, hey, you know what? My friend is the one that recommended me and I had a question, so I just checked in with him really quick. So definitely lots of resources. And like you said, if you're not sure who you need to ask about, ask anybody. We will make sure to find the right answer for you.
And what happens when you're done with orientation?
Well, typically for an inexperienced driver, we do send you home. You can enjoy some home time because we know 3 weeks, sometimes it's a lot for some of you guys to be away from home. And then we get you set up to pick up your own truck and kind of get it situated and go on your own routes. But if you're an experienced driver, I would expect for you guys to go on the road right away, at least for a couple of days, and then go home for some home time.
Right. And I'll let you know too, kind of as far as that, when you're done with orientation, I always say you'll be put in touch with your driver leader, expectations exchange, and that's where you guys will get to have that, where am I going to pick up my truck? When's my first day out going to be? They take care of all the logistics of that part. So it's kind of, recruiters handing you over to the trainers and the trainers handing you over to your driver team in operations. And so it's kind of a flow of a process to really just kind of be there for you. And I think a lot of people ask us, about, the pay and things like that. So what are some tips that we can give new drivers to kind of maximize their pay?
Oh, yeah. Definitely make sure that you focus on trip planning. That is something that we touch on during orientation to kind of help the new drivers figure out how to best utilize their log time. But that is really going to be the best way. And then also communicating with your dispatching, your leader of any changes of schedule or assistance to help maximize that planning.
Exactly. So also just one more time, just want to let you guys know that we are live. Feel free to ask questions right now so we can answer them for you as you're listening to our broadcast here. So we'd be happy to do so. And it looks like we do have another question coming in. A Bender says, is there training available in Los Angeles? Now, if you're talking about training for school, that would be a question we would direct to our programs coordinators because they are the ones that do those school programs. Training or an orientation, we do not have a location in Los Angeles, but we do have some specific lines of business training, like for intermodal and such in California. A lot of our California drivers go to our Phoenix location for training and orientation, as it is one of the closer locations for us. I think one of the things, as we're kind of going through here, we've covered a lot of information. And one of the things that I always say for new drivers when I'm talking to them, take your time, don't give up. Feel free to, utilize the resources that we have for you, your mentor. Don't be afraid to ask for help. They're there to help you support. And, we also have, for new drivers in a lot of our van truckload lines of businesses and things like that, we have a guarantee pay program right now that offers a guaranteed minimum rate of, gross pay per week, $900 in most of our locations. Sometimes it's some of our locations a little bit more than that, depending on the line of business. So what that means is that for the first, 3 months, 120 days, depending on the line of business, we guarantee that your gross pay does not fall below that dollar amount, provided that you work a minimum of usually 45 to 50 hours, depending on the account. But that's because we believe that the most important thing for you to do in those days is to focus on learning the role, safety, getting to know your truck, getting to know your team that's supporting you. So we want you to not have to worry about, oh my gosh, I need more miles.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell my drivers to this time, use it to really focus on safety habits and building, that trip planning and really focusing on that section, because that's really what it's for.
Right.
And then that way you don't worry too much, like you said, on the miles. With experience, that's going to come. And we put that guarantee. We put that guarantee on there so that that we don't expect you to fall under that once that guarantee goes away. You're definitely going to be well above that, especially and even very high if you take all of this in consideration.
Right. One of the things that I always say about that, think about when you start any new job. Do you know what you're doing? Do you remember when you started here? Like, the overwhelming feeling that you can get sometimes. So don't let that discourage you. Stay with it. Stay going. Talk to people. If it's in frustration, just let it. Let somebody else kind of tell you about their experiences. Just don't give up. Okay. It looks like we have another question coming in here. You want to see if what we've got there?
All right. Chevy Box says, I just met one of your recruiters at the CDL school. He met Terrence. Okay. He represented the company well, and I'm seriously considering coming after school. Awesome. Terrence is great. I know he does really great at communicating with you guys, really what to expect. I know sometimes he goes into detail of what positions we have available. So definitely SchneiderJobs.com, text 2800.
We'll be happy to help, right?
144 Pride. Definitely reach out. We'll help out.
Yeah, exactly. And, Chevy Box, keep in mind to, get that application in. You don't have to wait till you're done with school. We work with you throughout that process. We, get you pre-qualified, get you ready to go so we can get you started as soon as you've got that license in hand. It looks like we missed a question here. Nordic Brick says, I've been on an IC tanker choice board for 6 years and can't be happier. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Our IC Choice program is a very highly popular for our experienced drivers. So as an inexperienced driver just coming in, we do have those opportunities for you. So, definitely something you can progress towards if that is your goal, is to be an independent operator or an operator and working with Schneider, running under our authority. We have a great team of lease purchase program operators or recruiters that can help you out in that space. Elias says, hello from New Jersey. Do you hire recent CDL graduates?
Definitely. Yes. I would say the majority of our positions are open to all CDL holders, so no experience necessary. We actually, I think sometimes it's nice when somebody's just out of school, because we can show you the ropes of the way that Schneider likes to do things before you go on with some other company and maybe pick up some bad habits from them. So come join us.
Alejandro, you're asking us whether or not we still provide single room occupancy while training. Yes, we do. And our plan is to continue that. That was not a temporary process. We found the value to the drivers, and that was worth us continuing that even once we get out of this strange situation we find ourselves in these last year and a half or so. So definitely we do. With that being said, we do ask that you, respect the fact that we are doing this for your safety and others. And we ask that you do not bring any guests to the hotel, but we do allow that single occupancy for sure without even asking for it. David asks, once I complete training, can I drive solo?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I get that question a lot.
Yes.
Drivers, for some reason, believe that they have to team. We do not ever force anyone to team drive. Even in our training environment, you're partnering. So that person, you're working the same work sleep schedule. There's no, no forced team ever. So we love our teams, don't get me wrong, and we need our team drivers, but it's not for everyone. So you need to be comfortable with that. So David, obviously, most definitely you can drive solo when you're done with training. Okay. We've gone over a lot of things. I know questions are starting to come in, and I really would love to continue the discussion. I think, what we'd like to do today is in continuing that discussion, give us a call. Get your application in. We're happy to help you. 1-800-44-PRIDE. You can text message questions into our text line, 2800. And if you get an application in at schneiderjobs.com, we will be reaching out to you almost immediately through our automated system to try to get you in to talk with one of our recruiting specialists and potentially get you an on-the-spot interview the same day that you put your application in. Thank you for your time, Jenny. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure getting to talk with you and work with you again. Any last words you have for our group out there?
No, definitely. Don't be shy. Apply with us. Like you said, even if you're still in truck driving school, get your application and let's get the process going. By the time that you graduate, you can possibly be going to the very next week's orientation. So get those applications in. We'll be waiting.
Thank you. Have a good day now. Stay safe out there.